Hey everyone, welcome back to the M&R Show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Malcolm.
And today we have a special guest. I mean, we've all seen Mont before, but we haven't seen him in this new way. Mont is now one of our PR directors for the M&R Show.
Glad to be a part of the team, fellas. Glad to be a part of the team.
Yes, we decided to bring this charismatic young man onto the team. He's going to help the M&R Show grow to exponential heights. Now, Mont is on our new segment, Surprise or Roll My Eyes. Now, our first topic today is the Chiefs' slow start, surprise or roll my eyes. I'll start this one. So, for the Chiefs' slow start, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very surprised by this. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl in the preseason. I don't know if I'm going to completely jump off that train, but the train is I'm at the caboose of that train now. Like I'm really at the back, so it's not looking good. I mean, the defense is the worst in the league. I mean, it's them and the Washington football team. You guys, Malcolm, which ones you think is the worst one? So one of those defenses have been really bad. But then I really wanted to deep dive into the Chiefs defense, and I realized that they haven't really done anything well all season on that side of the ball. The pass rush is not good. Chris Jones looked amazing in the preseason. Not really sure what's going on now. They did make him change his position. Should probably move the kid back. The corners not look good. Ladarius Sneed look like he's been regressing. I mean, we all know what the honey badger is. At the end of the day, he's a big play guy. He's not going to be an every down amazing safety, but he's a playmaker. So he has his ups and downs. So we know what that gives. Frank Clark, I don't know. He's not been good, and Frank Clark is having some struggles since he's got over here from Seattle. He's just struggled. But I think that really the defense has gotten so bad, it's starting to affect the offense now. They're pressing too hard. They're going for too many big plays. They're not taking the short passes. They're trying to hit Tyreek deep. They're doubling Travis Kelce underneath. So overall, I'm just really surprised about what has transpired with the Chiefs. I at least thought the offense would be good. Now, Mont, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to roll my eyes on this one. And I'm start by saying, with every great team, a great dynasty, they can't necessarily put it together every year, how we want to see it, as far as maybe the Chiefs being like a 15-3 team, 2 team. I'm going to start by saying also the losses that they have, you could argue these are teams that, okay, these could be acceptable losses. The Bills, they got thrashed by the Bills. They got to do better in that one. They were Edwards-Helaire fumble in the fourth quarter away from kicking the game-winning field goal where they would have walked off the game. And the Raiders are a divisional rival, so you can literally say, everybody's going to drop a division game maybe. They still have 5 division games left that they can still win. Arguably, these could be the only 3 losses of their whole schedule, if we want to be honest with it. Patrick Mahomes, yes, he's thrown some uncharacteristic interceptions, but I think you can look at a game in the Washington football team that they have next as sort of be a bounce back that can take them through the rest of the season. And one thing we know about the Chiefs from looking at them last year, they want to face a little adversity just to see how deep out of the hole they can dig. So I don't think this is a big problem for the Chiefs.
Before I start this, I don't like how y'all try to use this Washington football team explanation in both of y'all little arguments. Ron, our defense has not been bad as this defense right here. And Mont, you didn't have to say that. But, let me tell you what I have to say. I'm going to roll my eyes to this situation. And the fact is, the Chiefs came into this season with the fact that their offense is going to be good enough to outscore their defense, or how much the defense is going to let go. And we're looking at this season, the offense has scored 154 points, and the defense has let up 163 points this season so far. So as you've seen, the defense is letting more points than the offense can score. But one thing that we have to understand is, yes, they played the Bills. Yes, they played the Baltimore Ravens, but those 2 teams are teams that they're going to have to play in the playoffs. Those are 2 teams that they have to be able to advance to get to the Super Bowl. And if they're giving up 30 points, not even worry about the offense. If their defense is giving up 30 points a game, how do you think that's going to change when the Bills are going to get even more stronger, when Baltimore is going to get even more stronger as the season goes on? So I'm looking at this team. They're allowing 32.6 points per game, which is by far the worst in the NFL. They have allowed 5 straight 30-point games, which is by far one of the worst in the NFL. I think that right now, what Kansas City has been doing the past couple of years, they're building on their offense and they haven't been building on the defense. And now we can definitely see what's going on. So definitely I'm gonna roll my eyes to the situation that at the end of the day, this is not going to change. Their defense is not going to get even better. They have some changes to make in the coming weeks. They need to look at a trade deadline to find some pieces in defense for the defense.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, the Chiefs rank 14 in explosive plays, which that's not what we expect to hear out of the Kansas City Chiefs. They actually have more explosive running plays than passing plays. There goes a fun fact. The offense has really been really crazy. I mean, Sammy Watkins don't make that big difference. I mean, he ain't looking too good in Baltimore, is he? So, I mean, clearly the difference ain't that much. I mean, but man, Mecole Hardman, I mean, he's good on Madden. Everybody loves Mecole Hardman on Madden. But in real life, this kid, he's a number 3 at best. Maybe a 4, really, on a decent, good team. Like right on the Bucs, he's probably your 5, if not your 6th receiver on the Bucs. So, when a championship team, they're going to have to maybe, I guess they're probably took that Josh Gordon risk, try to get some more explosive plays. They're going to have to find someone with that number 2 receiver in that running game.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet against the Chiefs. Until I don't see them in the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, then I'll believe they fell off. But this is just a small step.
I think these are signs that we have to pay attention to. Early signs. But
touche. All right, now on to our next topic. We have, are the Bills the best team in the AFC? Malcolm.
Now, I'm glad I'm able to talk about this because I am very surprised, to be honest. When I see this Bills team, according to Ron's not so guy in Josh Allen, did not believe in Josh Allen.
Yes.
Let me show you these couple of stats what the Bills have been doing so far to start the season. They're first in NFL in points per game, averaging 34.4 points per game. They're first in NFL in defensive scoring, allowing only 12.8 points per game. They're first in the NFL in takeaways, 15. This team is a very complete team offensively and defensively. The way that Sean McDermott has been coaching these guys up is crazy. They hustle, they play with speed, they play with athleticism. Their defense is way better than we would have thought that would be this year. I thought their defense would be at least average and their offense would be able to carry it. Their defense is on the same level as their offense right now. This team is scary, and this team is showing the Kansas City Chiefs, this team is showing other teams that came against them that they're the best team in the AFC. And I'm very surprised by this because I did not expect this. But I know Ron might talk more about his guy and Josh Allen and, did way better than, as Ron thought. But Ron?
Yeah, with the Bills, I'm going to say I'm surprised. Well, actually, no, I'm not surprised. And they're not the best team in the AFC. The stat that Malcolm just brought up about how good their defense is doing, let's go through the offenses their defense has played. The Steelers. You want to start with it? That's the last one. But, the Steelers, that's not a good offense. The Dolphins, they held them to 0. Washington, not a good offense. Houston, not a good offense. So the fact that they're holding teams per game, they haven't seen a real offense until the Chiefs. And yes, they did a very good job against the Chiefs in a very bad weather situation. The Chiefs are trying to figure out what's going on. This is a heavyweight matchup that we want to see, but I don't think they caught the Chiefs on their best day. Josh Allen really is playing MVP level ball. I think he's doing very well this season, but also if you put some pressure on him, you're going to see something different. Other than the Steelers and Washington, which Washington has not been getting so much pressure. And I hate to keep bringing up Washington. They're just so relevant. But once you see pressure on Josh Allen, you're going to see that accuracy drop. You're going to see a lot of different things. And the fact that they're leading the league in scoring, you also have to look at the defense that they played. Miami doesn't have a good defense. They put 35 on them. Washington defense didn't show up that day. They put up 44 on them. And Houston is Houston. And the Chiefs gave them 38 as well. So, the numbers look like that because they haven't seen anything to combat those numbers. And while their schedule has been favorable, I don't think they're going to be the best team in the AFC. They're definitely going to take the East because the East is washed. But, we got to see some more out of Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm really fence riding on this one because we all saw in my poll this week, they were my number 1 team. So this is very tough for me. but I'm going to have to be surprised because I think there's a better team in the AFC, and that team is the Los Angeles Chargers. That team is Los Angeles Chargers. Right now, if we're doing our college football poll, they haven't, but they've had a tougher schedule and they've beat better teams. That's just the facts. They beat Cleveland. They beat the Raiders. And of course, they beat the Chiefs. Both teams beat the Chiefs. They've had a more impressive run. The only team they have lost is the Dallas Cowboys, but we saw they're also on my list, so I'm not going to ding them for that loss, of course. So I think the Chargers have been doing really good, man. I really like the way that they're looking on defense. Derwin James, I told you all, week 1, if he plays, he's the best safety in the NFL. Yeah, he's been the best safety in the NFL. Joey Bosa is a top 3 DN. If not, I don't know how you all rank your DNs. He's in that top 5 at least. He's been that good. Kenneth Murray is out, a little scary in the defensive end, but we see how special the quarterback is in the Chargers. Not that Josh Allen isn't special, but Herbert is next level. And we'll see in the next 2 years who you rather have as your quarterback will be Justin Herbert or Josh Allen. And that's the next great debate coming to the M&R show. So I really like the Chargers. And only one thing about the Bills, they need home field advantage. If they go on the road, I promise you they will not go to the Super Bowl. They must get the 1 seed. They have to get the 1 seed. They will not win on the road in the playoffs.
I'm trying to say this. Number one, I understand what y'all saying about the Chiefs, not the Chiefs, but the Chargers looking like the best team in the AFC. That's understandable. Their schedule, that's perfect. But let's not forget the Bills. Yes, the Bills played the Miami. They had Tua was playing the first couple, the first 2 quarters. When Tua was playing, he looked absolutely terrible when he was playing. You had Kansas City, and you talking about Kansas City, they was not able to pick them up. They played Kansas City on a bad day. You played Kansas City on a bad day. Like, come on, let's let it make sense, man. Because I don't understand that at all. You played a big matchup. You played Kansas City, and you blew them out. You went in there to Kansas City and blew them out and left. That's the end of the story. And it was in Kansas City. But let's look at the rest of the schedule. They have Titans, who is a winnable game. They can beat the Jaguars, Colts, Patriots, Panthers, Falcons. You got Dolphins, the Jets. They have a favorable schedule to be number 1 in all of football right now. And they have the home field advantage. So I don't know who is going to go into Buffalo with that offense and defense to be able to beat that team. This team is looking hot right now. Got to give credit where credit is due.
I mean, yeah, I understand give credit where credit is due, but just like you outline the rest of their schedule, you can outline the front of their schedule and say the same thing. You know what I mean? It's not, and granted, they are the cream of the crop of the AFC, but it's not much tests being given. I think the Chiefs are seeing a lot of tests, or a lot more tests being that their defense is not playing up to the level, but Buffalo is a team we came in knowing that they had a tremendous offense and a tremendous defense. So I just feel like if we get behind them too much without seeing them being battle tested this season, which they were week 1, and they kind of folded in week 1, we're going to expect too much when the playoffs come, and we're going to be let down.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we know, Josh Allen does have a cannon, so we all know in January, it's not like he'll be flustered. But in the AFC, everyone has a dang cannon. Herbert has a cannon, Mahomes has a cannon. It's just, there's no weak arms in the AFC right now. So it's just, I'm really excited to see it because I think this is going to be a dogfight to the AFC Championship game. It's something we haven't seen in a long time. But, okay, for our last topic, this is Mont's topic. This is our PR director. He wanted to put this topic in. And I want you all to know how good he is that as he puts this topic in, John Gruden has just been fired as the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Wow.
This is how good this man does at his job. This is his first day on the job.
Well, when I tell you, first of all, that is actually a very great PR move for the Raiders right now. They have to distance themselves from John Gruden. The comments that he made, even though back in 2011, which is a decade ago, still unacceptable. You can't have a coach like that around players who fit all the descriptions that he made in those emails. So I think that's a reason why we're gonna call the Raiders the frauds of the league right now. I think, they started a good 3-0, but they lost their last 2. They started well last year, about 6-3, and just downslid from there. Like we said, they just let go of their coach. Even though Derek Carr, the first couple season he was looking big time, making some crazy plays at the end of games. I don't think it's gonna get much better at over the course of the season. I think, it's just not gonna look good for the Raiders anytime soon. And honestly, when you think about their position in their division, the Chiefs and the Chargers are gonna have playoff spots. So they were really only fighting for maybe a 7th seed because we know 2 people coming out the north. So the Raiders are my frauds.
Yeah, I'm more of really like a surprise that the Raiders is a fraud, but mainly it's because they was growing so much. I mean, as I say, we can say what we can say about this team, about how like they could be frauds, they could be this and that, but we seen it was more of a development going on with this team. This team was a lot better defensively. We seen Matt Crosby with leading in the NFL in pressures. We've seen it. We haven't seen that before for a defensive line since Khalil Mack left. So the fact that we can see that, we're seeing some encouraging signs. Oakland had some very good wins. We seen stuff going good for them. And then John Gruden just goes ahead and just forgets everything. This is y'all 10-year, $100 million man right now. Over here with the racist comments, which is unacceptable. The comments that he made is unacceptable, to be honest, period. And the fact that the Raiders are trying to build a organization from the ground up and stop being in a down hole, be in the basement. The fact that they have to deal with this stuff with their 10-year, $100 million man who's supposed to take them to different heights is really disappointing for the fans and for the organization, for the Raiders. And to be honest, I'm surprised because the fact is I expected so much better for this team, but the fact that they are frauds right now is what makes me so surprising right now of everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, I don't know what they have to think of this team. This team is a literal roller coaster. I mean, like this is an amusement park team. Like I'm gonna have to roll my eyes because preseason I didn't think they would be good. And at the end of the day, now I guess I'm gonna be right because they're gonna end up being the 4th team in their own division. Because that's exactly where they're headed to right now. I mean, with the Gruden thing, it's not looking good. I mean, that's like Malcolm already addressed the situation where he was doing. He actually resigned. So at least Mark Davis, Mark Davis is, Mr. Cheap Guy. I don't think he has to pay him now because he resigned. He's the one that took the thing out. So at least we know Mark Davis is happy. He doesn't have to pay anyone else. Besides Mark Davis, though, the actual Raiders team, I mean, they were actually doing good. Like you said, Malcolm said, they were improving. Josh Jacobs is actually just coming back, and they were winning games, and they were competing every week. But now it's like you don't just lose your head coach and just go on a rally. Like, that's just not really what happens in the NFL. Maybe a couple games, but for a season in this division, now you have to change everything, your philosophy. I'm not even sure who steps as the head coach. I don't know who their coordinators are. I know Gus Bradley is one of them, but he's not head coach worthy. We saw him in Jacksonville. So I just don't know where do they go after this. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to roll my eyes and agree with Mont. I mean, biggest frauds right now. They went from an MVP caliber quarterback, undefeated team, to 2 straight losses and a fire coach. So it just really fall from God, like literally. They've hit rock bottom.
That's all there else to say about that situation.
They hit rock bottom, bro.
Yeah, man. Any early candidates for the Raiders job next year?
Nothing more.
Nothing. I really have nothing because I don't even know what is the direction. Like, are they going to tank mode? Is it
Lamar?
You said Lamar.
Lamar.
Oh my God! Lamar.
How about Bieniemy? It's a good offensive.
Yeah.
I think with Bieniemy, he's going to try to find the right situation, and I really don't think Oakland's probably the right situation for him. But Kellen Moore, they're going to look at Kellen Moore. Trust me.
I can see them. Oh my God. Okay, well, again, thanks, Mont, for coming on. I mean, this man basically helped drop a bomb mid-show without even joining on purpose. So again, thanks, Mont, for coming on as our special guest today.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We make sure we have the right guys up here. Mont's a very right guy for the job. It's PR right here. But nah, thank guys for for tuning in, watching us on the show. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram and on YouTube and on Twitter at Malcolm and Ron Show. Really thank you, Mont, for being on the show. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you for being on the team. So y'all gonna see Mont a lot in the future. So thank you, Mont.
Yes,
no doubt.
Make sure you got that bell on, the notifications. I need you to be on when we premiere this episode. I want to see you all in the comments as we're live.
Definitely. Thank you guys. M&R fans, you're gonna see a whole lot more of me, whole lot more bombs dropped on the page. So you guys stay tuned.
All right.
We'll see y'all.